Competence in the clinical skill with vital signs is demonstrated by uploading 10 videos for review by the course instructor. The technical requirements for these videos include real-time continuous audio and video throughout the clip with no evidence of editing. Additionally, each video uploaded must be accompanied by a signed consent form that includes consent for the student and patient or model to appear on video. A sample consent form is provided in the Vital Signs module. The student will introduce him or herself and his or her role as a medical assistant. It is not essential for a clinical supervisor to be present for this non-invasive clinical procedure. The student will explain vital signs collection procedure to the patient and the steps involved. As part of the initial introduction, the student should confirm the patient or model's understanding of the procedure and elicit their verbal consent to proceed on video. For example, "Hello, my name is Joseph. I'm one of the medical assistants here in the clinic today. Can you tell me your name and date of birth?" "Thank you. As you probably know, we routinely collect a set of vital signs as part of the visit. Today we'll collect information about your height, weight, temperature, pulse, breathing, oxygen levels, pain levels, and blood pressure. Do you have any physical limitations for standing or other restrictions? With your permission, I'll ask you to join me at the scales as soon as I clean my hands." Note: post-mastectomy or recently injured patients with slings or casts may direct you to avoid a specific arm for blood pressure or pulse measurements. The medical assistant should demonstrate knowledge of infection control standards in patient care by washing hands before and after patient contact and demonstrating the use of gloves in patient care when clinically indicated. For the clinical task of vital signs collection, the medical assistant should wash hands with soap and water or use a hand sanitizer. The use of clean, non-sterile gloves is not required for routine collection of vital signs unless the patient or medical assistant has open lesions or the skin is otherwise not intact. It is important for the student to demonstrate his or her knowledge that it takes time for germs to die, both with hand washing and hand sanitization. Don't rush through these important basic skills. While the medical assistant is washing hands, it is a good time to summarize the procedure for the patient and inquire if the patient has any questions or concerns. The proficient medical assistant measures height in centimeters or inches, measures weight in pounds or kilograms, records temperature in Fahrenheit or Celsius, reports pulse oximetry as a measured percent of oxygen saturation, records respirations as breaths per minute, notes pulse as beats per minute, and describes as regular, irregular, or irregularly irregular. Pain is quantified on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 as pain-free and 10 as the worst pain ever. The blood pressure is reported as systolic pressure over diastolic pressure in millimeters of mercury, regardless of the type of sphygmomanometer used. It is common to measure the pulse at the radial artery for 30 seconds and multiply times 2. While holding the wrist with the other hand on the patient's shoulders, respirations can be counted by watching and feeling for movements of the chest and shoulders associated with air movement. This is intended to be done inconspicuously, as the watched patient will often become self-conscious and unintentionally hold their breath. Respirations are typically measured for 30 seconds and multiplied by 2. The medical assistant will be provided with multiple blood pressure cuffs to choose from. He or she must demonstrate the ability to select the correct size on video. It is important that the medical assistant locate the pulse in the antecubital space before placing the stethoscope on the patient's skin. It is also important that the instructor can view the medical assistant placing the stethoscope earpieces in his or her own ears to listen to the Korotkoff sounds. The medical assistant removes and disposes of his or her gloves appropriately if used, and washes or sanitizes his or her hands. With clean hands, the medical assistant correctly charts the vital signs. For example, Miss Jane Doe, date of birth February 14, 2000, height 59 inches, weight 170 pounds, pulse 80 beats per minute, regular, respirations 12 breaths per minute, pulse oximetry 98%, temperature 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit, pain 0 out of 10, blood pressure 120 over 80 millimeters of mercury. Signed, Joseph Smith, CMA, February 15, 2018, 3:30 p.m.